everybody, Vaping Vinny here again, and I'm back with a hardware review for you folks. And for the more visually aware review, it's in my hand. It's the Bonza mechanical mod kit. And there's the lovely box by the Vaping Bogan. This was sent to me by lovely Hedgen Vapes. Check them out, www.hedgenvapes.co.uk. They're about £50 from there. Check them out, folks. Yeah, I did. I got that. Anyway, the review. There we are. It looks rather nice. All black. Nice. Quick trip tip. The button shots. The Bonza. Let's have a quick vape. Works fine. Seems to be, yeah. Right. Okay. Right. Without further ado, I'm not going to talk about it too much right now. To get it on the deck, I'm going to put a build in the new version of the Bonza RDA, the V1.5 that comes with the kit. Put a build in it. Then I'll come back up top. No, I won't. Then I'm going to do my new thing, which is a voltage drop test on this kit with the RDA I've been using, which is a Druger RDA, and we'll see what the voltage drop test says about this kit. Then I'll bring it up top, give you my final thoughts, goods, the bads of this mech, and we'll go from there, folks. Right, down to the deck we go. The Bonza kit. The Vaping Bogan, of course. Sleeve slides off. I must say the packaging from Vandy Vape's improved somewhat. Not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. And there's your box. Vandy Vape, Vandy Vape, Vandy Vape. Full steam ahead, Vandy Vape, Vandy Vape. There we go. Open the box. Put the lid there. You get a full instruction booklet, loads of different languages and everything. You get, turn it the right way, a handy little card, which is all about battery safety, paramount, nothing on that side. Don't ever use a damaged wrapped battery in a mech. Just don't do it, folks. And a little warranty card to fill in. Not bothered with that. And your spares. You've got a random O-ring in that bag. And in this bag, oh, pop them back in there. You've got more O-rings. Allen key, which I haven't quite worked out what that's for. Squonk pin, clamp pins, tiny O-rings, 2 clamps, 2 grub screws. Good selection of spares, to be honest with you. Can't really argue with that. And the hardware bit. Get rid of that. There we go. Let's turn that round. You get an 18650 battery adapter. You do need to use that if you're using an 18650. You get a spring, which you can change to use a spring in your button, which is cracking. A spare set of magnets for your fire button. Cracking. Loads of spares. And the tube. There we are, Bogan logo. Some sort of rune engravings all the way down the top and bottom. And the top shot, if that will focus on there, which it's not. Do it like that. And it still doesn't want to focus. Anyway, it says the Vaping Bogan. Now this thing comes to pieces, the tube in many ways. Lots of threads and bits and bobs. We'll take that off. I'll just pop my battery out. Top part of the tube, all one piece, no sleeve. Looks like it's insulated in there. It doesn't come out. Obviously it's a hybrid top cap. Some little tiny vent holes in the top of there as well. That might focus in, but there we go. Vaping bogan on the top. And there's those little vent holes. Nice and clean inside. Not a great deal of threads on there. Not many at all. But there's about 4 threads on there. And that's what connects your whole tube together. Just 4 threads. It's 1, 2, 4 turns, and that's it. That's what holds the whole tube together. Just 4 threads. I'd like to see a lot more. I really would have done. Anyway, let's pop out the button if it wants to play ball. My rather poorly looking tweezers. There we go. And that's the button. Currently using magnets in there myself. Big threads, really big threads there. 5 threads on the button housing, and there's the inside of the button housing bit. The button shot, the Bonza. It would nice to bring the skull and crossbones around the Bonza there as well for me. Really simple button adjusting, which helps with the batteries that this takes. You just unscrew the contact in and out. Super duper. But yeah, and this one, no, where's the bottom one gone? That's the bottom one. The sleeve comes off. Obviously just to line up the logos. Not really sure why. It says Van de Vape manufacturer, and I presume that's the serial number of my mech, which is 129. Yeah, not entirely sure why they did the sleeve, unless it's just to line up logos. That will be what the spare big single O-ring was for. Obviously you can perhaps get some custom sleeves made for it or something, but not something I'm overly sure on myself, personally. I'll very carefully put that button in, but I won't screw that in all the way because I'm using 3100 cells, the 30Ts. Your button is your adjuster to take the big cell, which is not too bad, but I'll show you the issue I have with this. Let me just pop that RDA back on. Now if I screw the button fully in on those 5 little threads that are on there, there we go, get my 30T, pop that in, posi up, and screw it back together. We have a gap. Now bearing in mind that's only 4 threads that are holding that tube together there, all around here. That means you're probably on 3 threads. But the design is you undo the button housing to pull the button out to lower the battery so you can join them up. Great. Okay, I'll do that. You undo the button housing slightly, like so. your tube all connects up. There's no visible join. You can line the logos up for the bogan, skull and crossbones. Then you pop in your button housing a bit tighter. But with a 3100, can you see? It's not, the button isn't quite flush. It is protruding. I know it's only a tiny minute amount, and it doesn't fire when you sit it on it, but that'd worry me personally. Most people just leave the mech sitting around like that, and it wouldn't take an awful lot to make that fire with that button sticking out that amount. Let me just see. Spin the coils round. Yeah, don't like that. It's a great design, but I think those internal threads should have been slightly deeper in, and this bottom tube should have been slightly longer, just to prevent that, because I don't like that. I really don't like that at all, sticking out of there. It'd play on my mind, and it has done while I've been testing this tube. Right, let's pop it off the tube. Now, the deck for the new RDA has changed ever so slightly. Let's. What I'll do, I'll chuck it all on the floor. Bear with me, folks. I'm just going to make a little platform out of the box. Move me cotton. There we are, on my Mods ST build deck. Now, the biggest change, well, the two noticeable changes, the clamps have improved. Definitely improved. There's some teeth on, you can't see that. Some teeth on the big clamps down the bottom, which grips the wire considerably better than the original Bonza RDA. The other thing that's greatly improved is the airflow control. There's many more options now with the airflow. And there's the just like the original one there, but the options for opening and closing the holes vastly improved, which is great. I didn't mind the original Bonza RDA anyway, personally. Now, these are my own 980, just straight 980 coils, which I've made and popped in there already, and you can see I've already pulsed them because they've already been on the RDA and on the mech. I'm just going to quickly wick that up. The cotton I'm using is Cotton Gods today. So, cracking little cotton I'm testing out. Proving quite good right across the scale with every sort of build. Been a bit tight with the cotton there. Oh well, I'm sure we'll be fine. I'm just gonna fluff them out a little bit. Lovely jubbly. The same on that side. Once I've done this, I'm going to do a voltage drop test. It's a new thing I've started to do with all mechs, and we'll see what that's like, because with all them little threads and strange sleeves and things. I'm quite interested to see how that affects the voltage drop. Let's just trim that end. There we go. Lovely jubbly. Put my scissors down. Massive deep juice well. So one thing I loved about the original Bonza was that juice well, and this one's improved even more. The juice I'm using for today's review is one of my firm favourites, AVB Liquids Merce Gloves. I'll just juice them up. I say they are my own coils, and they're not the prettiest in the world, but they work great for me. Straight 980. And they are marked at 0.1 ohms. I know that because I've been using them for years. Right. Pop that off and do a quick fire on the mech. And then we'll come back up top and I'll give you my final thoughts. There we go. Not exactly popping, but we're there. Right then folks, I'm going to do a voltage drop test on the Bonza mech kit. First of all, I'm just going to test the resident charge of my 30T, which is showing, when it wants to work, 4.16 volts. So I'll pop that there, bring in the Bonza tube, which we've just seen, and pop in my 30T. And I use a Druger on top. It's what I've been using to do all my voltage drop tests, so it's nice and fair. Place that on the Druger top cap. Let's just check it'll fire. Yeah, we're firing fine. So I'll place that on there so we get the button pressed. So let's see what we get. Three. 0.67, I think that topped out up there. Just do that one more time. Just untaffle my wires again. Yeah, 3.22 we topped there. So we had, it's about 0.9 of a volt drop. Voltage drop on the Bonza mech kit. And we're back up top, folks, with the Bonza mechanical mod kit from the Vaping Bogan. Now, we've just seen the voltage drop test and the up close. The voltage drop is coming out between about a full volt and about 0.8 of a volt. which to me is quite a big voltage drop. I've been testing some others, which will be on a big review of every mech I've got, and that voltage drop is quite large. There's no getting around that. I think personally it's down to threading and various things. I mean, that's a 0.1 on coil build. That should be chucking and hitting like a truck, and it's just not. It's a shame. I absolutely love the design, but I think the execution by Vandy Vape has let the bogan down, putting it bluntly. The design is great. The threading is poor. There should have been more threads for a better contact, for a better conductivity throughout the tube. But the design, the design is genius. If Bogan's come up with the actual design, congratulations, brother. It's a cracking design. It's just been really poorly executed. The whole concept of adjusting the firing button to take the big cells, great. But you have to make the tube slightly longer as well, and put some extra threads on. It needs some extra threads on the joining tube, the middle section that comes undone. Why they've done that bit there, I'm not entirely sure. Doesn't really need it, because the button comes out, so you can actually put your cell in through the bottom. So the middle joint, I suppose it's just so you can get the matchy of the logos by turning the sleeve part. And I know they're bringing out some different colours with different colour little bits of sleeve. Why? Why do it? It's going to affect the conductivity of the tube. That's my biggest issue with it. The quality isn't great, but I've seen a lot worse. And it's a £50 kit. That's what we need to remember. But for a starting kit, the cavalry with an RDA is £30. Single coil RDA though. I think I've even got a cell in this. Let me just check. Yeah. $50, $30. Yes, better RDA. Single coil RDA, not my thing. But that's £30. That's 50. That's 20 quid you can buy a cracking RDA to go change it. But that only takes an 18650 cell. That's the drawback of the cavalry. This doesn't. Excuse me. But yeah, I think Vandy Vape personally have let Bogan down with the execution of the tube. £50? Yeah. I suppose that's not bad. Just checking I had that RDA fully on there. But the issue with the button sticking out with the 31700 cell in it. 21700, 31700. I'm losing my marbles, folks. What is that blooming cell? The 30T. Completely lost the plot. 21700. My apologies, folks. Losing the plot completely. There's 21700 in it. And that little button sticking out the bottom with that cell in just worries me. It's not firing stud, but it doesn't take much more pressure for that button to go in for it to fire. So yeah, just be careful. I suppose I'm saying if you buy one of these or have one, but again, the voltage drop and things like that. Would I say go out and buy one for your first mech? If you're a fan of the Bogan, yeah, sure, why not? You get a good RDA. The RDA, the improvements to the RDA have made a world of difference to the RDA. The airflow control has improved greatly. And they've sorted the clamp issues out, so it's clamping any wire really well. You've obviously seen I've just got round 980 in there. It's clamping aliens and everything really well now. So they've sorted the RDA issues out. Great. That's good. The RDA I've got no issues with. Tube, nah. Yeah, voltage drop. Big voltage drop. Between a full volt and 0.8 of a volt. That's an issue. That comes down to quality of manufacturing. Nothing to do with the design really. Other than the stupid thing that you with the sleeve bit in the middle, which I've mentioned. Yeah, you can tell on the hit that you're losing power somewhere. It's just, that should be chucking absolutely humongous clouds. Flavour is cracking. So the RDA is working well. It's just the conductivity of the tube that's a big issue. It is a starter mech kit, quite clearly, because it's Vandy Vape and it's £50. Just be careful with a button and don't expect it to blow your head off. I suppose the voltage dropping away for a starter with a mech is not a bad thing. But if you're expecting it to really, really hit, you might be a little bit disappointed. But yeah, and these are just my views of it. I bought this to review and I'm reviewing it. But yeah, I love, like I said, the design. I can't fault the design. The execution has been poor, really poor. And there we go. Thanks for watching, folks. I'll be back again with some more hardware and juice reviews. Please drop the channel a subscribe. Drop any comments on there. Might be a bit of backlash from this. I'm just being honest with my review, folks. Thanks for watching. I'll be back soon. Bye bye for now.